Welcome back to the Sooner Surge, a podcast that tells it like it is. Before we get started with this video, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified every time we release a video or a live show, which we go live every night at 9:30. Also, check out the Fan Stop, www.thefanstop.com. Officially licensed OU gear as well as other schools. Check them out. 10% off if you sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club if you use code SURGE. So make sure you do that. Hey guys, this is another basketball video and recapping kind of the weekend. You have the men's team that loses another one, cannot find their first conference win, and then you have the women's team that get the W over Texas A&M at home. The big question there is the Reagan Beers injury. What does that consist of? How long will she be out? All that stuff. So let's start with the men, though, guys. The men, another loss in the SEC conference play. Porter Moser's teams continue to not play well in conference. And this game had a 3-point lead at half. Second half, kind of just didn't really ever – you felt like we're going to get over a hump and get a W there. So just kind of overall thoughts, guys.
Well, I mean, this team has a huge monkey on their back that they can't seem to get rid of, and that's conference play and getting some W's in conference. Now, we'll talk about this, I'm sure, this upcoming week. They have a great chance, but until something happens on the positive side, I mean, the game against Georgia, guys, showed exactly some of the issues that we've seen in Porter Moser's tenure at Oklahoma. There was a lack of ability to close out games. There was a lack of trust in some of the players, in my opinion. There was a lack of I didn't understand some of the substitution patterns. I did hear after the game, Porter Moser talked about, and look, Jeremiah Fears has been in a slump. We all know this. We're not going to sit here and say he hasn't been in a slump, but if you're going to help someone through a slump, sometimes you have to play them through the slump. I would have liked to have seen him play through the slump more. He's very hesitant on his drive game, on his even his passing. He just very hesitant on things. I don't know what's going through his head right now. He's struggling, but they've got to find a way. Guys, there was one bright spot. Wagui down the middle, way better than Sam Godwin was athletically in that game. But then again, you see Sam Godwin play the last 5 minutes of the ball game. I can't explain some of it.
Yeah, Jeremy, I don't understand the Jeremiah Fears not being able to play through his mistakes. He's only 18 years old, guys. Like, he's going to make mistakes. He hasn't played in games to this magnitude yet. He still is learning. He's a future lottery pick. You're going to have to learn to just let this guy play through his mistakes. And I don't understand. That's been an issue I think we've all had with Moser for 3 years, is he doesn't allow guys to play through their mistakes. He doesn't allow guys to learn on the fly when they're struggling. Instead, he goes over and he yanks them out of the game for some reason. To me, it makes no sense. And Jeremy, something else that you said was Kobe Elvis not being in the game when Oklahoma was down by 6 or 8 in the last 3 or 4 minutes when you need somebody that can score, and he was really the only guy that was scoring. To me, I don't care if he has 4 fouls. He needs to be in the game because he was your only really consistent shot creation the whole game. Jalen Moore, he had 17 points, but he isn't really a shot creator. So it's like he needs to be in the game. And Sam Godwin, guys, in Big 12 play is an issue. I think it might be more of an issue with him in SEC play. I mean, he's a liability defensively on the court. He's not bad on the glass, but he's not athletic. So if his technique isn't good, he's going to struggle. To me, it's a frustrating brand of basketball to watch. How you can start off non-conference play so good, and this looks like a completely different team in the span of 3 games, guys. I don't know what's happened, but I don't know if this is a fixable issue. I hope it is, but I think that it's going to take a lot, and it's going to start with Jeremiah Fears.
Well, I mean, Godwin, guys, played 14 minutes, had 2 rebounds. I mean, you got to get more than that. Another game, they get out-rebounded. And a big part of this game, guys, Georgia shot 37 free throws, OU 9. You got to get to the line more. But, guys, the same problem. You want to talk about the same problems at OU for the last 3 years under Porter Moser. They don't. The bigs, when you get in a conference play, they don't have anything to compare to some of these teams. They seem to struggle when they just do in conference play with the bigs. That's always been an issue, I think, under Porter Moser. I mean, you can go back to the Groves brothers. They would light it up sometimes, and then you get in conference play and it just disappear. And I know he's not Tanner wasn't just a massive big, but he was playing 5 for him. He was playing the 5 spot. So I don't know what you do. I like the 3-guard lineup, but then it hinders you in some way. So I don't really know the issue. Here's what I do know. You have a 9:00 tip on Wednesday night against Texas that you must win. You cannot lose the game. You cannot lose the game. You have to win it. And then you have to come back Saturday against South Carolina at home, and you have to win the game. If you're serious about making the NCAA tournament, you cannot start 0-4 or 1-4 in conference play. You got to be 2-3 now after this week. You got to win your 2 home games. Period.
Yeah, I mean, it's a do or die week for
it is.
It's tourney or bust that starts this week. And they've played tough teams. I get that they're just on a downhill slide, and they've got to turn it around. And it does start against Texas in the Red River rivalry. They've got to get it done there. I mean,
yeah, it's really
one thing I would like to see. One thing I'd like to see from OU and Porter Moser, and I know, Jay, they don't have a big. I'd still like to see someone post up.
Yeah, they don't. He didn't really do that very much.
He never will post anyone up.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
Jalen Moore could post up. Duke Miles, Kobe Elvis, heck, Fears, post someone up, please.
Yeah. Hey, the other thing is as much as we can sit here and talk about 0-3, the game that really killed them was the A&M home game. You're up 18 points. You could live with losing to Alabama on the road and losing to Georgia on the road. You can live with that. I mean, you can't lose a game at home when you're up 18 points. That's the one that you're looking back on this week thinking that's a killer. But
gotta play loose.
Yeah. And the most frustrating thing is it's these short spurts that are losing them a game. It's not like they're just getting outplayed the whole game. It's 3 or 4 minutes in each half that they're just going scoreless, turning the ball over, not playing good on the defensive side of the floor, allowing 8-0, 10-0 runs. And that's what's killing them because Oklahoma, once they get down by 15 or 20, I'm not sure they're the kind of team that's just going to come instantly back within 5 points in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes. I don't think that's the kind of team they are. But Jason, Jeremy, you guys have said it. Things need to be fixed very quickly.
Yeah, and let's transition to women's basketball. As the women, they get the W, 77-62 over A&M. You know, Texas A&M is not a real good team, but they get the W. I will say though, another game. You had 19 turnovers. I mean, that's still. You got to 20 assists to 19 turnovers is not a good ratio. They got to clean up the turnovers. The big thing you can talk about from today's game is a couple of things. Obviously, the Reagan Beers injury. What is that going to do? How long is she going to be out? That's remains to be seen. But OU only shot 24% from the 3-point line, guys. So that's got to be better. But they get the win by 15 still. And you know what?
Yeah.
They have one more game, and then they got to go to South Carolina. So need to win the next one too.
And on the turnovers, guys, I just don't know if there's one player that you just can trust with the basketball in her hands all the time.
Is it the style of play, or do you think it's the
I just don't know if they have, in my opinion, just a true point guard. Now, Nevaeh's hot, but a lot of turnovers this year. I don't know.
Yeah,
Payton's great in the assist game, but just turnovers on this team is just I don't get it.
Yeah, Jay, and I think some of their style of play is an issue for this because I think we've talked about this before as well. It's not really you don't see Oklahoma just running set plays. It's like a set they're in, almost like a freelance kind of where they're just going through it's really a system. There's no plays or anything. It's a lot of pass and cut. You move to the open spots. And I think that's part of it because there's a lot of miscommunication on someone should back cut or not. But I think what Jeremy said is there's not just one player you can trust to have the ball in their hands. It's not for sure going to turn the ball over. And that's an issue. And I think maybe the most reliable player that they have to not turn over the ball might be Zaya Vanners, who's a true freshman, guys. And that's an issue, is you need to have these experienced players because something I've talked about with this Oklahoma team is there's just so much experience coming back. They should not be turning the ball over between 20 and 30 times every single game. There's no excuse for it. They won, and Reagan Beers, hopefully she's okay. The injury she had did not look too good, but I don't know if you can really expect her to play in the next game with just how the injury looked. I don't know anything about it, but let's just hope for the best for her. But Oklahoma is going to need players like Skylar Van now to step up. She was one of the best players in the Big 12 Conference last year. She's not had a great start to the year. Now, if Beers is out, it's her time to step up. Peyton Verhulst is probably going to have to score even more. Sahara Williams, you're going to have to look for her to score more. So it's like there's other players are going to have to look to score more. And I think Oklahoma, you have a massive game coming up in a week against South Carolina, in which you have a chance, if you're Oklahoma, to make a statement on the road against debatably the best team in the NCAA right now. And if you're Oklahoma, you need to do everything you can to get Beers back and to play your best ball going into that game.
Yeah, and you look at it. I mean, you got Missouri on Thursday night at home that you should take care of business there, and then you go to South Carolina. But, guys, my last thing here is let me know your opinion if you're surprised. But Lexi Keys has not done a whole lot this year.
Needs more minutes. Needs more minutes.
Well, like today, I believe played 19 minutes today. And, I mean, what she have? Zero? I don't even know.
0 for 5 from 3.
Yeah, so 19 minutes. So, yeah, I think
but that's what she's either gonna hit her threes or that's her game. That's what she is.
I agree with that. So, but yeah, you got this. You got to win Thursday night, 6:00 tip. And hey, I've heard a lot of stuff over this last week about the fan support. I don't think it was a great crowd there today. This week more than ever, OU Villanova somehow needs to be rocking because both teams need to win every game at home this week. You can't. You need to win them. So I know it's a late tip Wednesday night, 9:00. Get out there, support them. Get the W over a rivalry, Texas. Missouri coming into town for the women's basketball on Thursday night. Sooners need to go undefeated this week at home, period. So let's hope they do that. Appreciate you watching this channel and watching this video. Hit the like button. Also, remember, live every night at 9:30. Hope to see you on there. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.